Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the show. It's Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. Right here out of the gate at the top of the show, I got some important stuff I got to tell you about, so listen up, okay? So coming up this Saturday, I'm going to be making my 5th appearance on Coast to Coast AM. I'll be on there with Richard Serrett talking about my 68th film, This is Hangar 18. If you haven't got a copy of that yet, please go get a copy so you can be prepared for the show coming up Saturday. But here's the important thing. So my 71st film just came out a few days ago. It's called Secret Societies of the Elite. It's 68 minutes, so an hour and 8 minutes. And our goal this week is to raise $75 because I don't have any money for food. I had to pay the electric and internet stuff last week, and the download store, monthly costs, all that came out. You see, how the download store works is they charge a percentage of like whatever you sell, plus like $20 a month or whatever. And all that comes out on the 22nd of every month. So last week I had the power bill, the internet bill, and the download store monthly bill all come out. And we've only sold 3 copies of the new film yet, because it's only been on sale for a day or two. But anyway, I have to get, okay, so they shut down Skype. You guys heard about that, right? Well, Skype has been an indispensable tool for me as far as making my show appearances I've made since I first started, 2007. They took that away now. So how they do Coast to Coast AM is the guest, how it used to be in the old days, the guest calls in, right, on the phone, or they call you, whatever, and it's conducted over the phone. But I've never done it that way, because I said, fuck that shit. I've got a fucking studio set up here with a professional microphone and a board and all that shit. Why do I want to conduct my interview with Coast to Coast AM over the phone when I can do it on a professional mic and have it sound? That's why if you listen to any of my Coast to Coast AM appearances, you'll notice my voice sounds, a little better than most guests. That's why. Because I would do it over Skype, and I could have a Skype number, and then I could call in to Coast to Coast AM, Well, Skype's gone. So I was trying to figure out a way where I could still do the show, and it seems that there's an option like that for, what is that shit called? So everybody does their shows now. Zoom. So Zoom has a Zoom phone option. I think it's like $10 or $15 a month or something, where you can get a number and all that. So I have to get that. And I have to get it before Thursday, because I have to send all that info to Coast AM for Thursday so they can prep the show for Saturday. And I don't have any money to do that because the electric and internet and the download store fees and all that came out this one. So everybody just, we're going to raise $75 this week so I can eat, so I can get the Skype phone thing, all that, and just make it. So just, I've made 18 films this year. How many is that? 5 in May alone? I don't fucking know. And then guess what? The next 3 are written. They ain't coming out anytime soon. There's no more coming out this month. But I wanted to go ahead and start getting those prepped and ready. One of them, man, my films just don't sell what they used to sell anymore, and that's fine. I'm not gonna stop making them, but that's why I'm doing this Coast to Coast AM thing. I think this is gonna be a huge show Saturday. I really do. Because, it's 12 years since I first went on Coast to Coast AM. It's about 30 or so years since the first time I heard Art Bell on Coast to Coast AM talking about Hangar 18 and calling it the Rosetta Stone of ufology. It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of a full circle thing for me. But I think it's going to be big. I mean, the first time I went on there was big. The other subsequent times were not. The first time I went on coast in 2013 for Lost Secrets of Ancient America Volume 1, that was huge. I mean, it was giant. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking thousands. I made thousands and thousands of dollars off that night, you know. It's the only time that ever happened. And then I sunk it all into Lost Secrets of Ancient America Volume 2 and went broke because it tanked. Yeah, that's how she goes. But anyway, I just need some help right now so I can eat and survive until Saturday and to also get this Zoom phone thing going so I can actually be on the show. So buy downloads if that's all you can do. The UFO Trilogy Collection 3-pack film is up for sale also. That has my films Aliens or Nah, the complete guide to the fake alien invasion, extended director's cut from 2023. It also has This Is Hangar 18, the film I'll be talking about on Coast to Coast AM Saturday, and another film I made this month called Operation Underground Nuclear Testing and UFOs. So you can get all three of those UFO films in one pack. You should go save yourself some money and get that pack today, and that would help us be able to reach this little tiny $75 goal we got this week. Just so I can eat and get this Zoom phone thing going. It's like $10-15, I don't know. Anyway, but everybody listening, just go buy one download. If everybody bought one or two downloads or three downloads, there's a lot of you I know that listen that haven't bought the last 5 or 6 I've made, so why don't you go play catch up, and I won't make any more for a while so you can catch up, okay? But with that said, I told you about 2 of the films I've got in the works. One of them is John D. film. The other is on Bloodlines of Power. But there's a third one. And, you know, I told you a while back, I'm not in my, I don't know what you'd call it, agenda-driven movies anymore. My films for a long time were agenda-driven, you know. The Secret Right, it was all about the Council for National Policy. You know, Lost Secrets of Ancient America, Spellcasters with Scientology and MK Ultra and all that stuff. So a lot of my early works were really agenda-driven, and I'm not really doing that anymore. What I'm doing now is I'm just more making films about subjects that I'm interested in or have been interested in the past. And one of the subjects that I'm very much interested in, have been my whole life, really since I was a kid, mid 80s or whatever, but aviation, aircraft. So I've got a film coming out called 61 Years. And it won't be as much of a conspiracy film as some of the other stuff I've made. It's going to be more about the history of aviation, and there'll be a little stuff on, you know, back engineered technology and stuff like that in the film. But really, the point of it is why it's called 61 Years. I'm still writing it right now, but it's this is one of those ones where I want to try to sell this one to a streaming service or something like. This is going to be one that could be, you know, very mainstream, unlike a lot of my other stuff. But anyway, so the reason it's called 61 Years is because between the time the Wright brothers took their first flight, was that Kitty Hawk, North Carolina or wherever, and the first flight of the SR-71 Blackbird, the most sophisticated aircraft ever created. There's things in there, because it was one of the planes like the U-2 spy plane that was created from back-engineered technology recovered at Roswell and then taken to Hangar 18 at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. So the SR-71 Blackbird, I mean, it still holds speed records that have never been beat. You know, it was the first undetectable reconnaissance plane. This thing, you know, you look at this thing and it looks like something out of Star Wars. Bro, that thing took its first flight in 1964. What? So between the Wright brothers' first flight and the first flight of the SR-71 Blackbird, the most sophisticated aircraft ever made, 61 years. Wait, you mean to tell me humans couldn't fly for millions of years or whatever previously? And then they go from being able to fly on this shitty little fucking whatever piece of shit they made out of cloth and sticks, and it was just shit. We went from that to the SR-71 Blackbird with no antecedent in between in 61 years. It's fascinating. Like, I knew that, but it wasn't until I started writing it and laying it all out and thinking about it and pondering it and looking at this going, holy fuck, there's the proof. I mean, you want proof fucking humans had some sort of intervention or, advanced technological findings, creating back engines. That's it. I mean, it's wild. Like I said, there's stuff. The SR-71 Blackbird got replaced by the Stealth, but, it's funny. The U-2 spy plane, which they had in the early 60s as well, before the SR-71 Blackbird, well, I said there wasn't any antecedent. There was, actually. The U-2 spy plane was the antecedent to the SR-71 Blackbird, but the SR-71 Blackbird had just the engine technology on the SR-71 Blackbird. When you realize they had that in 1964, you go, huh? How? How? These turbojet, ramjet engines. Yeah, it's just crazy. But anyway, this thing could fly at the threshold of space, undetectable by radar. It went like 600 miles per hour. It's just crazy. But the U-2 spy plane and the SR-71 Blackbird have both been retired and brought out of retirement at various times. I mean, I remember reading articles about this in the early days of the show. They actually said this in mainstream news articles. The U-2 spy plane, which was created in, the 50s, and the SR-71 Blackbird, the reason those two planes have been brought out of retirement a few times is because, and this is their words, not mine, both of those planes contain technology that cannot be replicated today. What? Yeah, no shit. No shit, they said that. There's stuff that the U-2 spy plane and the SR-71 Blackbird can do now that they can't recreate the technology of what it could do. I mean, the Stealth, it was replaced by the Stealth bomber, the SR-71 Blackbird was, but the Stealth, they could use that it was a bomber, that was for undetectable attacks. The SR-71 Blackbird was not an attack plane. It was a strictly reconnaissance spy plane. So, yeah, I'm really excited about this film. I think this film's really got the potential to be a breakout film beyond the conspiracy world. I just don't know how to go about. I don't know how to you go about trying to sell a movie to Netflix or something. Everything I've read says you have to have an entertainment lawyer, and they already have an established relationship with these streaming services. Ugh, I can't afford that. If on the odd chance someone out there is an entertainment lawyer or knows one, hit a brother up. globalrealityshow@gmail.com. I hadn't wanted to talk about this, but since more stuff has been coming out about it, I feel like I have to talk about it now. So, some of you, my longtime listeners and stuff, you guys, may have heard me talk about the band Rush and the band Queen. Those are my two favorite bands of all time, Rush and Queen, right? You may remember, it's still on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, when they came out with that shitty Bohemian Rhapsody biopic. I did like an hour and a half tirade on that shit because I'm here to tell you right now, there's nobody that knows more about the band Queen than me. And when I went to the theater and saw that thing, I've never been physically angry in a movie before. Like, my friends and family were, like, having to, like, calm me down because I was making a scene. I was losing my shit. The thing's a fabrication from start to finish. And I knew it was going to be a fabrication from start to finish. At the very beginning of the movie, the first opening of the movie, you see it's like they're like backstage at a concert or something. There's some activity going on. There's a roadie rolling a road case by. And as the roadie rolls the road case by, they do a zoom in on a Freemason square and compass ring on the roadie's hand. And I went, oh, there it is. This is going to be 100% bullshit fabrication from start to finish. And they let you know that right at the beginning of the movie when they flash that Freemason's ring. Yeah. Anyway. So there's a woman, 48-year-old woman, who claims is writing a book. This is the kind of shit they do now for books and movies, to promote books and movies. It's not enough to just try to promote a book or a movie or anything anymore. That's exactly why I don't have much success with my movies, because I won't resort to some bullshit like this. But when you're trying to promote a movie or book now, it's better to have some sort of scandal or salacious thing surrounding it that you can use to promote the book. So this woman claims that she is the secret illegitimate daughter of Freddie Mercury. She won't show her face. She's shown no proof. Story came out today. Again, she's going, oh no, I had a DNA test. Okay, well show us. She hasn't shown it. She claims the band knows about it. Supposedly it was a one-night stand that Freddie had with the wife of a close friend in 1976. I'm here to tell you right now, I think this is total bullshit. I know Freddie Mercury and Queen. That's how I could tell that movie was totally bullshit. That movie had them like meeting up with Freddie Mercury right before they joined Queen. Like, they just met him and formed the band instantly. Total bullshit. Those guys were all friends. Brian May and Roger Taylor had a band called Smile. They show it in the film. They play some Smile music in the film, which I actually thought was cool. But Freddie was just a wannabe. So he was kind of like a groupie for the band Smile. He was like following them around, going to every show. Him and Roger Taylor, the drummer of Queen, had a secondhand clothes store in Kensington Market in London. Okay, so this bullshit they show in the movie of, oh yeah, they didn't know this guy. They just met him and then they formed a band and it was magic overnight. That's not how it happened. And listen, Freddie Mercury was a true bisexual. I mean, he was with women and he was with men, But 76? Nah. Now I'll tell you when if it happened, when it could have happened. I'll get to that in a minute. But Freddie in 1976. See, before that, in the early days of Queen and stuff, first couple of albums, 2-3 albums, Freddie was with a woman named Mary Austin. And the song Love of My Life from A Night at the Opera was about her. Freddie's one true love of his life was a woman. So that's never been a secret, right? But supposedly he fathered this bastard daughter in 76. We've never heard about this till now. She's just now. It's kind of like those rape claims. People are like, 30 years ago? Or who was that, Jeremy Piven? I mean, Jeremy Piven, you guys even remember? Most people probably don't. Most people don't even remember why Jeremy Piven got canceled. He didn't rape anyone. He didn't assault anyone. You know why he got canceled? A woman came out after like 40 fucking years and said that Jeremy, on the set of the movie Lucas in 1983, Jeremy Piven, I think it was his first movie, Jeremy Piven said to this, he was trying to get this girl to kiss him, and she wouldn't. And he said this, "Come on, baby, you know you want it." And she wouldn't kiss him. That was it. He didn't force himself on her. It was just, that was the extent of his crime. That's why he got canceled. So we're good. So I mean, that's just how dudes used to act, a machismo, macho. Come on, baby, you know you want it. You know you want this shit, you know. That's just how, I mean, he was 18 or something like that at the time. 17 or 18 or something. The guy got canceled for saying, "Come on, baby, you know you want it," on the set of Lucas in 1983. Have you heard what was going on the set of Lucas in 1983? I mean, Charlie Sheen was fucking Corey Haim in his trailer. And y'all worried about Jeremy Piven saying, that's true, by the way. Are y'all worried about Jeremy Piven going up to a chick and trying to get her to kiss him? Saying, "Come on, baby, you know you want it." That's it. But yet, Corey Haim was getting passed around like a fucking pocket pussy. Charlie Sheen was fucking him in the ass. Yeah, go look that up if you don't believe me. Yeah. I think it was Corey Feldman came out with all that. But yeah. I mean, that wasn't even half of it. That was just one part of it. There was all kinds of salacious shit going on the set of Lucas. But yet, y'all want to cancel Piven for a hetero man for saying to a female, "Come on, baby, you know you want it." That's all he said. It wasn't like he was like, you know, whipping his dick out and going, "Come on, baby, you know you want it," or like grabbing her by the pussy or something, "Come on, baby, you know you want this shit." That'd be different. There was no assault that happened. And that's still the same way. I bring that up because it's the same way here with this Freddie Mercury's daughter thing. Listen, Freddie Mercury was known to have affairs and stuff with women, but around 76, 77 was when he went full-blown gay. He wasn't really fucking with women anymore at all. He was still, him and Mary were not together, but they were still very much in love and still very much, you know, best friends and whatnot. So, in the 1980s, Queen recorded 3 or 4 albums in Munich, Germany. The Game, the much derided Hot Space in 82. Kind of Magic. They recorded 3 or 4 albums with Reinhold Mack in Munich, Germany at Musicland Studios, which they later bought. The band later bought that studio. David Bowie recorded there, a bunch of people. Anyway, so in the 80s, when they were, during the time period where they were in Munich, Germany recording, and the band's never really given a lot of details on this. Brian May has said, "We all found ourselves in emotional trouble in Munich." And that's really kind of all he said about it. But we later subsequently found out that during that time in Munich, Freddie had a love affair with a woman. See, Freddie was obsessed with love. I mean, he was obsessed with being in love. So a lot of people, you know, they talk about his, you know, sexual promiscuity, being a gay guy and all this shit. But even still, Freddie didn't even get with dudes unless he thought the potential for love was there. It was just how he was. It was just who he was as a person. Anyway, this fucking shit, I smell bullshit on this. This is somebody trying to get paid is what this is. Somebody trying to sell a book, because this book wouldn't even be thought about had she not made this claim. She claims to have, like, letters and shit that Freddie wrote to her. But again, it's kind of like Jonesy. "I got the documents, folks." And then show you nothing. That's what she's doing. She's pulling Alex Jones on us. "Folks, I got the documents. I got the evidence right here." And then he never shows you. A biographer who made a bombshell revelation of Freddie Mercury's secret daughter has reassured fans she's telling the truth. Oh, really? Okay. Is that how it works now? All right. I'd like to reassure you that I got an 18-inch cock. How about that? Let me reassure you that I've got an 18-inch cock. Okay, I'm not going to whip it out and show you or send you a dick pic, but hey, let me reassure you. Okay, that's all you need. You don't need anything else. Let me reassure you that I got an 18-inch cock. All right? Cool? We good? That's what she's doing. She reassured fans. She told, "Oh, I promise you, I'm telling you the truth. I've got DNA. I've got a DNA test. Okay, show us. And then nothing. Give me a fucking break. Best-selling author Leslie Ann Jones has faced questions from some aficionados. Some? How about all? Me first in line. She's faced questions from some aficionados of the late singer and his band Queen after revealing the child's existence in a new book. The new book, called Love, Freddie, reveals the daughter was conceived accidentally during a fling with the wife of a close friend in 1976. That just doesn't fit Freddie's MO at all. It just doesn't. And again, until we see some hard evidence of this shit, or even your face, bitch. Show me your fucking face. How about that? Can we at least get a picture of you? Because I pretty much, I know what Freddie's sister looks like. I know what his mom, Jer, looked like. You know. Pretty sure if I saw a picture of this bitch, I could tell you, first off, bitch, you better look Persian. Let's just start and end with that. If you don't look the least bit Persian, bitch, get the fuck out of here, alright? Yeah, I'm just not believing this. I'm not even necessarily discounting it altogether and saying it couldn't be true. It could. Anything's possible, right? I'm just saying from everything I know about Queen and Freddie Mercury, it just doesn't. By the way, if you want to see my revelation on Queen stuff, it was in the Spellcasters Volume 5. I'm one of the few people that actually knows what Bohemian Rhapsody is about, and I put it in the Spellcasters Volume 5. She was conceived accidentally during a fling with the wife of a close friend in 1976, a year after the group's most famous song, Bohemian Rhapsody, was a hit. Her existence was known only to Mercury's closest circle, including his parents and sister. Well, that's what I'm saying. Show me this bitch's face. If she looks like his mother and his sister, okay, maybe I'll believe it. But you're hiding your face. You won't let us see the letters that Freddie supposedly wrote to you. You won't show us the results of a DNA test. I mean, are we supposed to think this isn't anything other than bullshit? Let me reassure you that I'm telling you the truth. Let me reassure you I got an 18-inch cock, bitch, alright? The girl who is now 48 and lives in Europe, where she is a medical professional and also a mother, making Freddie a posthumous grandfather, according to the book. This stinks. Why now? You know what I mean? Because you know what happened last year, right? Queen sold their catalog. You know, it's like a record, 50 billion or something. Yeah. So Freddie's part of that money will go to his trust, which was left to Mary Austin, his first and only true love. So this chick, even if it is true, is just trying to get paid. Because wait a minute, you're going to tell me we've never heard this? You were born in 1976, same year I was. But we're not hearing about this until 2025, and we didn't hear about it in all the years previously. We only hear about it a few months or however long it's been, 8 months or whatever, after the Queen catalog sells for a record amount. It was like 50 billion or 80 billion or something obscene. Now Freddie Mercury's got a long lost daughter. Now the Queen band members are even richer than they already were. Nah, Now, this is somebody trying to get paid. I mean, again, even if it is true, and let's just say theoretically we find out it 100% is, we see the proof, we see the DNA, everything. That still doesn't change the fact this bitch trying to get paid. You know what I mean? This bitch trying to get paid. And hey, if she really is Freddie's daughter, more power to her, you know. But I don't think she is. Because, to me, you know, if I was the illegitimate son of whoever, name a rock star, you know, and I knew there was an opportunity to get paid, and I had DNA evidence, shit, you better fuck out of here. That shit would be on the front page news, it'd be on YouTube, it'd be on Facebook, it'd be on TikTok, you know what I'm saying? I'd be putting that fucking DNA evidence everywhere where you could find it. That way there's no question. But she's not doing that. She's not showing her face. She's not showing the letters Freddie wrote to her allegedly. And she's not showing the DNA results. But she assures us it's true. Okay. Yeah, I'm calling bullshit. Now listen. If it turns out that this is true, I will be the first to come on the show and say, hey, guess what, guys? It's true. But, like I said, either way, it doesn't change the fact this bitch was trying to get paid. You know what I mean? Again, how come this didn't happen like before they made the movie? Well, because there wasn't as much money at stake then. Now, you know, 50 billion, or I mean, that means that each band member, 4 band members of the band Queen, and their estate in Freddie Mercury's case, I mean, wow, I can't even do the math on that. I mean, it's what, 12 billion apiece, 11 billion apiece, whatever. So that means there's 11 or 12 billion more dollars in the Freddie Mercury estate, which Mary Austin owns. That this bitch feels like, hey, I'm his daughter. I should get a piece of that. And she will if she can show proof. Interesting that the band has been radio silent on this. And they've been, you know, very upfront with the fact that they, you know, kept it a secret that Freddie had AIDS in the 2 years. That was the other thing about that stupid movie. He like tells them he has AIDS before Live Aid in that movie. What? No! That just is flat made up. It didn't happen. He told them shortly before they released the album The Miracle in 1989, which I've been listening to a lot lately. It was very strange. I hadn't listened to Queen in a while, and I recently started listening to the album The Miracle from 1989 again. It's kind of a forgotten masterpiece of the late Queen era. It really is. The band sounds like what they very much were at the time that album was made. You know, old school rockers trying to come to grips with changing technology and styles while still trying to remain Queen. The M1 Korg synth and the early digital recording techniques on that album are used to great effect. They really are. But, yeah, I'm calling bullshit on this for now. Like I said, you know, if we end up finding out, okay, hey, you know, we got the DNA, this is true. Hey, more power to her, you know. But generally in the past, when someone has said something not true about Freddie, Brian and Roger are generally pretty quick to, you know, step up and defend their boy. You know, they're generally you're like, ah, this is fucking bullshit. You know, it's fucking shite. This is, you know, and they haven't done that, which, you know, does make me think maybe there is something to it. I don't know. Give me a second, folks. What's this? Doctors sound alarm as over-the-counter drug taken by millions is linked to cancer. Oh, really? Oh, surprise, surprise. What was that one? I can't remember the name, but it wasn't Nexium. Was it one of those? Or Prilosec, was it? I can't remember. One of those indigestion prescription drugs they had, you know, giving people esophageal cancer and all that shit. Yeah, I mean, there's probably tons of them. These, you know, last time I was in the hospital in November, December last year for heart failure for the second time, you know, I've had no problem since I'd been in there in 2020. And I took my medication for a short time after I was in there in 2020 until the prescriptions were run out, and then, you know, I refilled it a couple of times and then didn't take them anymore. And they were telling me this last time, oh, you're going to have to be on this for the rest of your life. Really? Who the fuck's going to pay for that? Yeah. Anyway, no, I quit taking my meds that they prescribed me this second time too because I'm in good shape. I walk every day. I'm eating better. Well, when I can eat, when I'm not starving to death like I am right now, but I don't eat burgers and shit like that anymore like I used to eat, is what I mean to say. But somebody's asked me the other day, hey, I was listening to some of your old shit the other day. Your voice sounds different now. What happened? Let's see. I survived 2 strokes. I survived 2 bouts with heart failure. And I got hit in the mouth by a dog in 2014 that weighed 150 pounds. And it killed one of my front teeth, which caused a chain reaction in all of my top teeth. I don't have any top teeth. Well, that's not true. I have one half broken one in the very back. One. But I'll have all my bottom teeth. You know what? You'd be surprised. Not having any top teeth really doesn't affect your ability to chew as much as we've been led to believe it does. I think nature just builds. I mean, it's. I don't know. It makes me very suspicious because I mean, I can't. You know, yeah, I need top dentures. I don't have $5,000 for that shit, or however much it costs. You know, there's no. People don't take this into account. There's no insurance. There's no dental plan for the independent filmmaker like me. You know. So, yeah, bro, I've survived people not contributing, the suppression by the powers that be to keep me suppressed and to keep my views down and me from reaching a larger audience. The fucking film crew they flew from England to Dallas in 2015 to film this hit piece on me. That's what happened, bro. But I'm here doing this and not giving up because it was what God put me on this planet to do. And yeah, I've almost died a few times. I have no top teeth. Yeah, bro, I sound different than I used to. It's just life. It's just how it is. There's nothing I can do about that. But thanks for pointing it out, dickhead. Anyway. So, back to this article. What drug is this that's causing cancer? Phenazopyridine. Phenazopyridine, sold under the various brand names including Azo, Pyridium, Protium, Pyridate, Baridium. It works by numbing the lining of the urinary tract, which helps lessen the symptoms of urinary tract infections, which include burning, irritation, discomfort, as well as frequent urgent. Oh, shit. Okay, I get it. I see what this is. Okay, so what type of people, rather, are known to have the most frequent bouts of urinary tract infections, both male and female? Promiscuous people. People sleep around. So the people that sleep around that rely on this medication and are promiscuous to fight urinary tract infections, they're also getting cancer from it. Oh, I see. This is some eugenic shit's what this is. So the people that most get UTIs are people who are hoes and man sluts and shit. So those are going to be the people that are going to be people who get UTIs more regularly are also probably going to be people that are having illegitimate children, back to the Freddy thing, that kind of thing. So we should start weeding out the people who get urinary tract infections on a regular basis. And how do we do that? Give them a urinary tract infection drug they don't know gives them cancer. Wow. This is insidious. I'm really shocked at this because there's just not a lot of stories like this anymore. The medical industrial complex generally sweeps this kind of shit under the rug before it has a chance to get out, but wow. I mean, you're not going to convince me otherwise. There's no question that this is being done to... Well, you remember that was what the whole creation of the AIDS epidemic was. They were trying to weed out promiscuous people, both gay and straight. So they found another way to do it with the urinary tract infection drugs that nobody would suspect. Wow. All right, dayglow76@yahoo.com on PayPal. Reeves Radio, all lowercase, one word, Reeves Radio on the Cash App. Capital J, Josh, dash, capital R, Reeves, dash, 61 on Venmo. 7894 if it asks you for the last four digits. Got to raise 75 this week and got to raise some immediately so I can eat and get the Zoom phone thing for the Coast to Coast AM appearance on Saturday. All right, guys, it's urgent, so please buy some downloads today or just do whatever you can, all right? I love you. We'll see you next time. Take care.